Hi, welcome to Blindside Movie Reviews. Noel T. Manning II here, hanging out with the original blind movie critic Jay Forey, talking movies. This week we are talking Oscars, and we'll be talking Oscars again right before the show, which will be telecast live and also streaming live on the 26th of February through ABC TV. Check that for the live Oscar telecast and streaming event. Today we're not talking about what we predict will win because a lot can change. There's a lot that's going to happen over the next month that can shift that up and down. But we're going to talk about some of the key categories of what we would have voted for, and actually some of these we did vote for in the Critics' Choice Awards, and so they showed up in this list as well. Jay, hey buddy.
I know. Yep, I'm always anxious to do this. It's amazing how many the Critics' Choice Awards that came out, and we actually I was talking to you earlier, and I think most, if not all of these, I picked it for my Critics' Choice Awards to win.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, we talk about this every year that we really do provide kind of foreshadowing what's going to happen in the Oscars, and many of the ones that we list as winners and that we select as winners do go on to get nominations, and some end up going on to be winners as well. So today we're going to talk about Best Picture, Director, Actor, and Actress, and if we have time, we may talk something else. Let's look at the Best Picture category. I'm not going to go over all the names, but there were 9 nominees from the Oscars for Best Film. What would be the one that you would vote for, Jay?
And you know me, I've been talking about this all along. La La Land as my vote for Best Picture. And it just has everything in music, directing, story, acting, has everything, the well-rounded piece there.
Yeah, and on these 9, 7 of these are actually on my list as best films of the year, so they're all worthy for one way or another. But I'm with you. La La Land was the most unique film that I'd seen in quite some time from a musical standpoint, and it did it in a different way. A non-conventional musical in some ways, and so La La Land did get 14 nominations for the Oscars, and this is my pick for Best Picture as well. Let's look at the Best Acting category. Who shows up on your list for Best Actor?
Oh, well, I have to do, and I don't remember if I picked this, Casey Affleck from Manchester by the Sea, and the other one that I was, Andrew Garfield for Hacksaw Ridge. They were both running neck and neck. Which do I like the best? I have to give it to Casey Affleck. I really I thought he did a fantastic job as the uncle that comes back to take care of his brother's teenage son. I thought it was just he did a fantastic job.
Okay, for me, Andrew Garfield, I was torn between Andrew Garfield and Denzel Washington. They both did amazing work. I was not a big fan of Affleck at all, but that's a whole different conversation for later. But Andrew Garfield really surprised me, coming from most people remember him from the seeing him as Spider-Man and Peter Parker, and then to see him take on a role like this, directed by Mel Gibson. Andrew Garfield, my pick for Best Actor. I'm glad that he got nominated. I really am.
Right, me too.
Best Actress in a leading role. Let's get your thoughts on this. Isabelle Huppert from the movie Ellie won for the Golden Globe. Surprised a lot of people. A lot of folks thought that Meryl Streep was going to win, or actually a lot of people thought Natalie Portman was going to win for Jackie. She gets my vote still. Natalie Portman still just completely blew me away. She was the only thing that I liked in the movie Jackie. But Natalie Portman got my pick as far as who I would have voted for.
And that's how you and I both did. I remember you and I both talked about this in the Critics' Choice Awards. Yeah, and that same thing. Natalie Portman, my pick for Jackie.
Okay, well, let's talk about Best Director. Who is your Best Director pick?
What's his name? Damien Chazelle.
Yep, Damien Chazelle, yep.
For La La Land. It's funny. You only have now 4 directors to pick for, and I'll be honest, another one would have been real close if I wouldn't like La La Land. Mel Gibson, and I was talking about this before, I don't know, with you or someone else, he was the only one that could have done the movie Hacksaw Ridge, and here's why. And it's because, think about it, he could get by with doing a semi faith-based film. I mean, at the beginning of the film, he's a faith-based film. The guy is he's running for what was the word looking for? He is the kid
Yes.
is conscientious objector.
Yes.
At the end, it's not a faith-based. There's a lot of blood and gore and guts. Only Mel Gibson, I think, can pull both sides of that. But still, I'm still going not for Mel Gibson. Even though he's my second, I'm still going for Damien Chazelle.
Yeah, and there were five films that the director showed up for: Arrival, Manchester by the Sea, Moonlight, Hacksaw Ridge, and La La Land. Damien Chazelle, really a young guy, and he did some amazing things with La La Land. The opening scene for La La Land is the best opening scene of any film that was released back in 2016, and highly recommend watching it just for that scene, even if you don't even watch the rest of the movie. But Damien Chazelle, I think he deserves this Oscar tremendously for what he did with La La Land. I too was amazed with Mel Gibson in Hacksaw Ridge.
And before we move on further, it's funny we just mentioned best actor and actress, and neither one of those people surprised how much I talk about La La Land. I did not pick Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone for best actor and actress. That don't mean they weren't good.
Right.
I just thought that they were some others are a little better.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you completely on that. Well, any others films that you want to talk about or wild cards you want to throw out there?
Well, I was going to just quickly mention I picked Michelle Williams for best actress in a supporting role, Manchester by the Sea. And I love Jeff Bridges and what was it, Hell and High Water, if that's it.
Yep.
Both those supporting actor. Both those, and the other two things I was going to say, you and I both had picked for not a great soundtrack for Jackie. That's in there. And one that I have to give you kudos for, you loved the Deepwater Horizon,
yep.
and it's in there for best visuals. So
yep, absolutely.
You picked that in way back then, Noel.
Yeah, and I want to I'll throw in just a couple as well. Best supporting actor Mahershala Ali from Moonlight was really incredible, and he's been doing quite well on the awards circuit, and made a very interesting conversation he had during the Golden Globes. He won for best supporting actor in that, and Octavia Spencer, Viola Davis, both really strong candidates for the actress in a supporting role. Of these listed, Viola Davis got my vote. But Octavia Spencer, really good to see her in there. I got a chance to interview her a few years ago for The Help, and Mahershala Ali, I actually interviewed him just a few weeks ago. So couple of folks there that are one Oscar winner and another Oscar nominee been featured on WGWG, so we're really happy for that. Jay, your website, blindsidereviews.com, you can find out all sorts of things there. And the Oscars, man, it's coming up. It's coming up. Any other thoughts or comments you want to add before we wrap things up?
Nope. Just I mentioned Michelle Williams. I wasn't going to pick her, but because she had such a short role in Manchester by the Sea, which doesn't sound like one of your more favorite films, but but you know what? Viola Davis actually won her Oscar a couple of years ago with in a film that she really had two scenes, but she nailed it. So I said, you know what? If she can do it, Michelle Williams, I'll pick her too for a short role here.
Yeah, and next week, opening in theaters, you're going to have the, let's see, what is opening next week? John Wick Chapter 2, the Lego Batman movie, and 50 Shades Darker, all opening next week around the country. This weekend, the horror film Rings, and the sci-fi adventure love story The Space Between Us also opens in wide release this weekend.
You know, no, and just to give everybody a heads up, don't worry, you don't have to listen to me talk about 50 Shades Darker. I'll probably be doing John Wick next week.
well, Jay, for you being a blind movie critic, everything's 50 Shades Darker. So.
Exactly, maybe 100 Shades Darker. Exactly right.
All right, till next time, I'm Noel Manning. That's Jay Forey, and for Blindside Movie Reviews, that's a wrap.